8th lesson, and today we're going to be looking at tennis. Hopefully there's some future tennis stars like Andy Murray, but hopefully a bit more cheery and a bit smiley. So today you'll need in your lesson, we're going to be using a football as well. A bit weird because we're playing tennis, but you will need one of these. Water is essential, very hot, so make sure you've got water by the side. So anytime you want to drink, just grab a drink, don't worry. Of course we need a tennis racket, got a couple of cones to be using, and of course the main ingredient is going to be tennis balls. Okay, I'm going to be doing the warm-up, so if you're ready now, push play. If you're not, push pause and get all your stuff. So now you should have all your equipment ready. So straight away I've set myself up and had a little cheat because I got myself ready, but we've got 4 cones in a line. So I'm going to give you 10 seconds to set yourselves up. I'm going to have some water whilst I'm waiting, so you've got 10 seconds. That's some high quality H2O. So now we've got all our stuff ready. We're going to first of all use the football, and we're going to use our tennis racket as well. Before we start anything, I want us to learn about the tennis racket. So this is called the handle, what we're going to always be holding on to. Okay? Because we're being safe, make sure when you move it around you're not hitting anyone or hitting anything, so please make sure you're not hitting siblings or any furniture. Move it if you can. So first thing I wanted you to try and do is just move the back of racket around the back of you, just using the handle only. So you see where the tape is? You're just going to use that to pass it around your back. Just practice that, try not let go, have a firm grip so you're never losing control of the handle. Okay, so you always got it. Now switch which way you're going, perfect. Now you can get a little bit quicker and quicker, try not to lose it. Always using the handle. Because in tennis, we never hold the racket up here because you have less control, okay, and you can't get as much whip on your shots. So you want to hold the tennis racket low. So next one we're going to do is a bit trickier. You're just going to pass through your legs, okay? Always using the tape and the handle. Get to know the tennis racket, we're passing around. There we go, perfect. Sometimes you might dink the floor, but it's okay. Good. Now your next challenge, can you try and spin the racket on the grass and catch it? Okay, so spin and catch. Spin, catch. Can you try different ways? Okay? Just getting to know the tennis racket. It's alright if it falls, keep trying. There, nearly. Now, we're going to move on to the new part. We've now got our football, we've got our tennis racket. We're just going to try and dribble the ball in and out of the cones using the racket. Okay? Using one hand. See? Always holding the tape, nothing else. I'm going to go through the... We might now swap hands. What's going to be harder because your other hand's probably weaker. I'm going to go all the way around through. Perfect. We'll go around twice. Woo. Go around. Great technique. Nice. Now, a bit tricky. I'm going to use 2 hands. I'm going to try. And straight away you can see I'm not just using one side of the racket, I'm using both sides. So I might use the left bit, then I might use the other side. And we go through. So ready? Use the left hand side, the right, left, right. Ready? Keep going around. Perfect. Freeze there. Now, go and find one of your tennis balls. We're going to try now one of the tennis balls. Which one do I want to use today? We're going to go for the cleanest one. So let's go with our right hand. It's going to be harder now because the ball is smaller. So little taps with the ball. Try and go around the cones. Nice. Small taps. Don't want to lose control of the ball. Nice. Woo. Good. Nice. Good. Can you now try with your left hand? Do 2 on each hand. So here, go use my left. Ooh. Using both sides of the racket. Ooh. Good. Trying to get out the divot. Try not to touch any of the cones. Perfect. And freeze there. That's going to be a little bit for the warm-up. Okay. Now, keep the cones where they are. We're going to move on. Make sure you have every equipment near each other. Always grab yourself some water after we finish and stuff. Pause now if you want a little break, or push ready when you're ready. So now on to the lesson of tennis. I've got myself a square set up, so we need one of those. So whilst I'm talking, set yourself one up. And of course you need your tennis ball and you'll need a racket, and always holding by the handle. So you 5 seconds to set up your square. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Square should be set up now. You should have your water by just in case you need it, but we're going to move on. Our first bit of the lesson is, what I want to see us doing is put the tennis ball on top of our racket, okay, and try and keep it in the middle. Can you try and just balance it at the moment? Keeping the racket as straight as possible, because if you dip it, tennis ball is going to roll off. If you go backwards, it's going to roll towards you. If you move to the side, so you have to try and be as still as you can. So like a statue, ready? I keep my arm nice and straight. I put the ball on top. I'm going to try and keep the ball as still as possible. Perfect. Now, your new challenge is, can you take 2 steps forward? 1, 2. And can you just keep moving around without the ball falling off? So you might walk to the side now. 2 steps. Take a step to the side. Just keep moving around and keeping the ball in the middle so it doesn't fall off. If it does fall off, no worries, pick it up, start again. Make sure your racket is nice and straight. If it's like this, watch, I put it on top, it's going to fall off straight away. And that's no fun. So watch, nice and straight. Here we go, it's in the middle. I then take steps around, so now the tennis ball is moving. And I have to make sure I'm always moving. Okay, don't let the ball fall off. Can you keep it moving? Good, freeze there. Now, when the ball starts rolling one way, if you keep it normal, it might just fall off. So what you might have to do is try and move the racket very slightly. So not a lot. If you do it big, it's going to fall off. So watch, when it's rolling towards me, I might have to tip it forward. And now my elbow is moving and it helps me control the ball. So ready? I move it around. My elbow is adjusting the height. So slight movements. Perfect. Now, your new challenge. Stay again, nice and straight. All I want to see you do is just do 1 tap of the ball. Ready? Stop the ball. You do a little flick and tap it up. So nothing crazy yet. Watch. We just flick the ball up like we're doing a frying pan, like when we do our pancakes. We flip it up and do 1 bounce. So ready? Like a pancake, I flip it up. We do 1 bounce. Doesn't matter at the moment if you flick it up and the ball hits the floor. Just pick it up. Get the tennis racket nice and straight. This is going to be your frying pan. You want the pancake in the middle, you flip it up, and you want to try and keep it in the frying pan. So look, 1 little flip up, 1 bounce. Can you do a little flip, bounce? Perfect. Practice that a little bit more. If you're ready to move on, try this. So what you're going to try and do now is little bounces with the racket. You see how the ball has never stopped moving? It's just keep staying in the same spot. So look, we just keep bouncing it. I'll tell you a little trick. I always keep my eye on the ball, and when it comes down, I try and move the racket where the middle is. So imagine where the racket is. You don't want it bouncing over here because it's going to go away from you. You want it bouncing right in the middle. So ready? Racket nice and straight, because if I throw it up and it's bounced, it's going to go away from me. So my golden rule is keep your tennis racket nice and straight. So ready? Can I do little bounces? Nothing where it's going over my head. I'm keeping my eye always on the tennis ball. Okay? What I'm doing with my hand is that when it's about to hit the tennis racket, I bring my hand up a little bit. Not massively, or it's gone. I can't find it. Just a little tap. Okay? Just a little tap. We keep it as low as possible. Good. Practice that. Keep going. If it does fall off, don't worry. You're just going to keep practicing. And you'll get better and better, I promise. And freeze there. So, your new challenge is going to be this. I want to see us. If everyone knows what egg and spoon race is that you have an egg and this is going to be your spoon. And you want to try and take the egg to my square. So ready? It's in here. All I'm going to do is now is walk and try and put the egg in the square. But so it's not smashing the floor because we don't want to crack our egg. So ready? I put it on my spoon. I walk now. Perfect. Easy, easy, easy. And look, I bring it down nice and gentle on the floor. I get the third one. Ready? I'll get myself ready. Remember our golden rule, straight racket, hold by the handle, I walk, and I place it down nicely. You get 3 points if you've done that without dropping. So every time you deliver an egg to our square, that's 1 point. Ready? Right in the middle. I'm walking, good, walking, and I don't want to crack my egg. You have to place it down nicely, so I don't get a point because I cracked it. Ready? Put it in the middle. This time I might go a little bit faster. Perfect. And I bring it down softly. Ready? Put it back on. Might go a little bit faster. But I always do it softly down. That is 2 points because I didn't crack the other one. Ready? If that is too easy, you're now going to put 2 tennis balls on your racket and try and walk 2 tennis balls over without dropping them. Walk. Now you've had your drink. This is part 2 of the lesson. So we've done our egg and spoon race where we try and keep the ball as still as possible without falling off. Now this is the next level. These are the future stars. So what I want to see us doing is going to be, when we practiced earlier just bouncing the ball and keeping it on our racket, we're going to try and do that whilst walking over to the square. So ready? I bounce it, I keep my racket nice and straight. Ready? I'll just put it down in the square. Easy. Now I start again. I've somehow lost the tennis ball. So ready? If you struggle to flick it up and start it, just drop it with your hand. You get it going. Ready? Keeping it nice and controlled, not going away from you. And look, you place it down. So I've got 2 points so far. I collect my balls and I start again. If that's too easy, try it with your left hand. Just walking with your left. Good. And then look nice and soft to bring it down. Go again. Left hand, I drop it on top. Ooh. Going away, but look, my racket is always straight. I'm just walking with it. We rest it down easy. Perfect. Right, a couple more times. I'm going to say if you do it, bounce it, the more bounces the better. So if you just go 1, 2, 3, that is not good because you're not really controlling the ball. I want to see it nice and close. So the smaller bounces the better, but I don't want to see the ball stop dead. So watch, loads of bounces, as many as I can. Perfect, it's nice and controlled, I'm not running anywhere, I always have it near me. Ready? How many bounces can I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So can you try and beat your record of how many bounces you can do? I know some of you will be cheeky and just stand still and do it, but you have to be moving to do this challenge. So ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. Didn't quite beat my record. Okay, that's your part 2 challenge. Give it a try. Pause if you want to keep trying, but if you're ready to move on, just push play.
4, 3, 2.
So this is part when we do our question and answers and sometimes a challenge. So you should have your pen and paper ready for our questions. If the carers are there, try and help them a little bit, but don't give away the answers. So our first question is going to be, with the racket, where do we hold on the racket? So I've said it quite a few times, but whereabouts do we hold the racket by? Okay, that's your first question. Question number 2 is, what's my golden rule when we're trying to keep control of the ball and the racket? What is the golden rule? That's question number 2. As you can see, the challenge is already here. So number 3 is going to be your challenge. Can you try and do the egg and spoon race and try and beat your parents at it? So if you've got one racket, take it in turns, but I think you guys should be able to beat them by now. So well done this week. Hope you enjoy the weather. Stay safe.